everyone. Welcome to another episode of the QubicaAMF Tech Tip Podcast. This is a weekly podcast where we take you on a journey through the fascinating world of bowling technology and beyond. As always, I'm your host, Orly, and we have a very special guest today. We have V on the show. V, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you coming on. This is your first time on the show. You know, usually if people have listened to the show before, they notice, I don't have the same person on every week, but the kind of same group of people that like to come on, that aren't hiding from me. I haven't scared them away yet. And I'm like, I reached out to you a while back and I was like, oh, let me see if I could, somebody mentioned your name. That's good, right? Cause they were like, she's the best at this. You got to get her on. So, we finally got you on. So again, thank you. And, first off, do you want to let everyone know your position with the company and what you do within that position?
Absolutely. So I am a technical support representative. So I am one of the people who ends up getting all of your calls. I am able to help with anything on the scoring side, but I do tend to deal a lot more with Neoverse. Myself and Brad, we have kind of spearheaded a lot of those. So we both feel very comfortable working with Neoverse.
Okay. And, if anyone is new to the show, make sure you're going back and listening to the past shows. She just mentioned Brad was on the show and he covered some stuff with Neoverse. And, she did mention that she does cover Neoverse. So when I first invited her onto the show, I said, hey, take a listen to Brad's show. And maybe if there's something, it's not a bad thing, Brad, if there was something he missed maybe, or something she wanted to cover, that she would come on and do that today for us. So I'm going to kind of just let you take it away as far as covering what you wanted to cover. And if I feel the need to interrupt you, I'm sure I'll jump in.
Perfect. Sounds good. So I just wanted to talk about maybe a little bit of the process that I think might be helpful for people when it comes to noticing some sort of issue with Neoverse. Specifically, if you notice that the image that's being displayed on your wall is not correct for some reason. I think whether it be a case of you notice one panel has either no image, inverted colors, missing pixels, or it's a big section of your wall where any of that is happening, I think there's different routes to go about it in terms of what we can do. But I do think a really good starting point for either of those is going to be rebooting. Rebooting components can clear away some of the problems, and then that way you don't have to deal with physically changing any components. So I think that's a really good first step. I would recommend rebooting your server. You can try rebooting your video splicer as well. You can also reboot the computer that's going to be associated with your Neoverse server, because if the uptime on that computer exceeds a certain amount of time, then that can cause problems with the software that's being used for Neoverse, and in turn giving you issues with the image that's being displayed. I would also recommend, when it comes to the computer, checking to make sure that the Windows updates that are on that computer are being checked frequently and are up to date, because that can also cause issues if you let those go to the wayside for a little bit of time. Now, I want to get into what to do for one panel versus a section of the wall if you notice that something is off. If it's just one panel that you're having an issue with, you could always start with just replacing the panel to see if it was an issue with the panel. If you swap the panel with one of your spares that you have in your spare kit and you're still having the same issue, if you open up your cabinet, you'll notice that there's going to be flat ribbon cables and also a black data cable. You can try swapping those cables with another cable that's in the same cabinet to see if the issue then moves to the other panel within the cabinet. If that's the case, then you know that it's not the panel and you just got to replace the cable. If you tried both that and swapping the panel, I would recommend giving us a call. We can check on a few other things, and we can also walk you through the process of how to swap out a receiving card or a hub card, because it would probably end up being that at that case, but it can be a little bit difficult or daunting to do that by yourself. So please feel free to give us a call with any Neoverse problems if you ever reach a point where you're a little bit stuck. And then when it comes to a big section of your wall is not getting any image, or the image is not displaying correctly, the first thing that I would do is I would walk to the back of your wall just to see if you're getting any LED indicators on the cabinets. If you're not getting those red and green flashing lights, then the wall isn't getting power. So I'd recommend checking on the power cable, making sure that everything's plugged in. And you can also check on, there's a little black box that's going to have a bunch of Ethernet cables in it. It's going to be your CVT10 box, and each of those Ethernet cables is associated with a certain section of the wall. So one of those cables might have gone bad, or the connection might be loose, or that CVT10 box itself might have gone bad as well. So I would try, unplugging things, plugging them back in, seeing if that can bring the wall back up. But if you're still having issues after that, definitely give us a call. That's why we're here. We'd be happy to help. But those are a few things that I would recommend, just checking out if, you wanted to try doing a few things yourself before reaching out to us. But there are some things that customers are not going to have the ability to do on their own. So don't ever feel embarrassed or feel like you're bothering us if you need to give us a call, because like I said, there are some things that you're just not going to be able to do without the help of tech support when it comes to Neoverse.
Yeah, no, that's great. And I feel like you guys always make it so easy. You make it sound easy on how to fix it, which I'm sure it is. So I kind of feel like I could go into someone's center right now and work on their Neoverse wall. I don't know if they're going to let me or if they should let me, but you guys do make it sound pretty easy. And if they do need to contact you, what is that number for them?
That phone number for tech support is going to be 866-460-7263, and then hit option 3 for tech support.
All right, V. Well, I appreciate you coming on today and taking the time. I know you guys are, quite busy all the time, but you guys are always lifesavers to everyone. So I do appreciate you coming on today.
Of course. Thank you for having me. I had a really fun time, Orly. Thank you so much.
All right. Yep. And for everyone listening out there, make sure you're listening to us each week, like I mentioned. And, we're here each week to support centers like yours with expert advice and the latest in bowling innovation. So don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And be sure to share this podcast with your team, coworkers, or anyone who could benefit. Until next time, we'll talk to you soon.